Good morning everybody and Happy New Year. I hope you all had a lovely holiday season. Today is Wednesday, it's the 5th of January. I'm still all at sea with my days and dates. The boys have gone back to school today, both of them went back today. So it's my first day of getting back into the normal routine. Kev's actually upstairs in bed at the moment. He had his booster vaccine yesterday. He had the Moderna one and he's had a horrible reaction to it. He started feeling really poorly last night. He was shaking, freezing cold, but pouring with sweat. He's got a headache. He feels like he's been hit by a bus. He's aching everywhere. So he had a really terrible sleep last night. So he's just upstairs now having a little nap hopefully. So I'm gonna have to be quite quiet when I'm talking. So I went to Aldi's this morning, which I normally do. After the kids have been at school, but we do still have quite a lot of frozen stuff and cupboard stuff to eat up, so I just got a few little bits. And then today I'm just gonna tidy around the house. I think I might start to take some of the Christmas decorations down. I think I might take this tree down at least. I'm very ready to give the house a good clean. I can see little dust balls behind the Christmas tree and I've been trying to sweep them up on my hands and knees, but I'm desperate to give the floor a good clean. And I'm going to colour my hair. My roots are so bad. They haven't been done for about maybe 4.5, 5 weeks and they are so ugly. So I think that is the plan for today. Washing up now. I've just had a coffee and a banana for my breakfast and back to normal, back to being a housewife. My mum really got me into vitamins a couple of years ago. So these are all the vitamins that I take now. I take 2 of these every day, 1 of each of these every day, with a glass of water after food. I'm gonna try and have a bit more of a healthier this year. Last year I wasn't too bad, but I'd stopped exercising. I've never been a gym person. I really don't like the gym at all, but I do love walking, but I pretty much stopped going for daily walks. My eating habits were all over the place. I was eating breakfast really late and then snacking when the boys came in and then not having tea at tea time and just having cheese on toast or a pizza or something at 10 o'clock at night when I'd come downstairs. So this year I'm just going to make a really conscious effort to sort of note what I'm eating really, I think. I'm actually going to, I'm not going to start this week because it's halfway through the week and I know it's a really weird thing, but I like starting things on Mondays, and I know every day is a new day and you shouldn't sort of wait until next week to do what you can do this week, but I like doing things on Mondays. And I think because Monday is my normal big food shop day, I can sort of plan over the weekend what I'm going to eat and then get all those things on Monday. But I'm going to film it next week because what I'm going to do is get weighed on Monday, do my measurements on Monday, and I'm going to start doing the Fastic app fasting program. I'll talk to you more about it when I start it next week. I have dabbled with it before and found it quite successful, but then just for whatever reason I really stopped doing it. But I'm going to, it's going to be a good year. I've lost a little bit of weight actually from when I started. I started to notice that my weight had ballooned around the middle of last summer. I'd put quite a lot of weight on. I know people talk about the COVID stone, but I don't actually think that was what it was. I think it was just bad eating habits, to be honest. So I did start to lose a little bit of weight, but now the boys are back at school, I'm really gonna dedicate myself. I have got a target sort of weight in mind, which I know you shouldn't really do because, and everything I've read, it says you shouldn't really sort of fixate on a weight or a number or a dress size, but I really do. But I've got a target weight in mind, or target measurements, sort of how I'd like to be from what I can remember myself being when I was that weight, or those measurements, if that makes sense. Granted, that was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I have found anytime I've tried to lose weight recently-ish, it's took a lot more effort for a lot less weight loss, whereas before I could just cut down on a few things and the weight would just fly off. I don't know if it's an age thing. I mean, I am 40 now, and I know your metabolism changes and your hormones change, and it is notoriously harder to lose weight. And I think because I'm not active all the time, because I don't hit the gym, that probably doesn't help. But yeah, I'm waffling. Monday I will start this and I will bring you on that little journey with me. I think we'll do like a week of what I'm going to eat, and then I think maybe we'll revisit it a month later and see if it works. And then obviously if it does, if it's something you guys haven't tried and you're interested in, you could kind of see a real life case study. I am in my scruffy t-shirt, which means it is hair dye time. I am going to use this one today. I've not actually used this one before, so I'm a little bit nervous as to how it's going to turn out. I normally use either the Garnier Olia 4.15, which is like a chocolate brown, or the Garnier Nutrice 4.15, which is the iced coffee one. They're both like a mid-brown but with a warm undertone, so they've got like a slightly red tint to them. But I've noticed the past few times the colour looks lovely on the main body of my hair, but my roots have gone a little bit ginger, and it's more and more obvious as the colour washes out and fades. Whereas that one it's not darker as such, but it looks darker because it doesn't have any red undertone, any warmth to it. It looks more cool toned. So yeah, I'm hoping that will cover these little hideous frosty white roots and not send them a funny colour, and maybe sort of knock some of the red out. You can't really see it too bad, but when you get in the sun, there is a distinct chocolatey sort of reddy undertone to the hair, which I love. But as I said, I do not love having ginger roots. So yeah, I'm going to do that now, and then I will show you it when it is done, and hopefully it will look as nice as it does on the box. Right, the roots are on. It's also all over my face. I have never used such a runny hair dye before. Most of the ones I use are quite creamy and they're quite thick, whereas this, I'll show you what it looks like. It's almost like a serum. It's like really quite jelly-like. So when I was doing these little baby hairs around here, I could just feel it dripping down. So I've wiped it off, but I'm gonna have to wipe it off again because I think it's actually stained my head. But yeah, look at this, guys. No, look, it's like honey or something. It's so jelly-like. Wow, yeah, so that's why that is dripping all over my face. The first 20 minutes are up. I think I've managed to get those stains off my head pretty much, and I'm going to go and put the rest of the colour on the lengths, which I hate doing. It's the worst bit. I end up getting it everywhere. Yeah, but we're in the last leg. We'll just do this horrible bit. Fortunately, I don't have very thick hair, so it doesn't take too long, but wish me luck. Right guys, this is the finished hair colour. It is pretty dark in the side, and I think it has killed all of the red. I was just looking at it in the front window, which is where all the sun is, and it did still look like it had a tiny bit of red to it. But now I think that was just it, maybe reflecting off my jumper or something. But seeing it here in the back window, it's really dark. It's not quite black, but not far off. I actually really like it. I really, really like it. I haven't been this dark for maybe about 3 years. I always used to have like really aubany coloured hair when I was at university, and then I had a little blonde face, and then I had a really, really dark face. When I met Kev, it was pretty dark from then onwards. I was wondering what that noise was then, but it's Kev. He's up, he's having a shower. Yeah, so this is it. Let's just check the roots. Definitely seems to have got all of those greys, and it's not looking ginger. There are a few little patches of dye there where it stained my head, but I think that will come off tonight when I wash my face and take my makeup off. But yeah, colour-wise, I really, really like it. I prefer being dark, actually. I don't know, I think it works better with my skin tone. I always thought I had quite like a warm skin tone, but I actually don't. I think I'm fairly neutral, but it must be slightly cool because it seems to look much better with this colour than it did the chestnutty colour. But would I use the product again? I would use it because I like the colour, and I think I could probably do my roots, which in theory you shouldn't really be putting a full box of colour on every time you dye your hair. You should just be doing your roots and letting it grow out, and then maybe sort of comb it through. If I was to do it all over again, I would 100% book a mobile hairdresser to do it, because I didn't enjoy doing it at all. It was such an unusual consistency for me. I managed to get a big blob on my slipper. I managed to get it all over my t-shirt. It was like all over my face. It was just like streaky marks all over my face, all over my neck. I mean, it has washed off. So from that perspective, if you do make a whoopsie and stain your skin, it does wash off. But it was quite stressful and I was quite anxious doing it. But I always find the length quite tricky. I'm just very uncoordinated. I find like holding it with one hand and swiping it on with the other hand, I don't know how hairdressers do it, honestly. I certainly don't think it's a vocation I could ever pursue. But yeah, there it is, finished product. And that was the L'Oreal Preference in the shade Refined Brown, which I think was 4.013. Yeah, so new hair, new year, new me, maybe, fingers crossed. We'll see, definitely new hair anyway. My poor slipper. But she got 2 drops on it. Oh dear. Lunchtime. I've got leftover spaghetti bolognese. Kev is surfaced. It is 2:15, near enough. Yeah, just a couple of minutes of 2:15. And I am just about to head out to pick up the boys from school. Hopefully they will have had good first days back. I didn't get round to taking the Christmas tree down, as you can see. We ended up watching the last episode of Hawkeye on Disney Plus instead. So yeah, I had a pretty lazy afternoon, but hopefully we'll have a more productive day tomorrow. So thank you for taking the time to watch. I don't think I'm going to end up vlogging tomorrow, but remember that I'm going to start my Fastic app fasting diet next week. So I will be filming what I eat and how the app is working for me all of next week for you. See you later.